In Virginia, the heart of the world's data center industry, a county board just did something that almost never happens. It unanimously killed one of the largest data center proposals in American history. And on the very same day, from Florida to Texas to Indiana, communities pushed back on every front while the industry answered with nuclear reactors and a $19 billion bet on a tiny Kentucky river town. The fight over AI's building boom has never been sharper. We begin in Prince William County, Virginia, in the shadow of the data center capital of the world, where supervisors just did something that almost never happens. After a public hearing that stretched 5 hours, with roughly 100 protesters rallying outside and 95 speakers lining up inside, the board voted 8-0 to deny the Dulles South Innovation Center. The plan would have rewritten the county's long-range map for 252 parcels, nearly 2,000 acres of farm and forest land, clearing the way for up to 43 million square feet of data centers along the Loudoun County border. County planning staff had urged denial, citing inadequate roads, water and sewer capacity, and the loss of rural character. Board Chair Deshandra Jefferson put it simply, planning the county's future is too important to be a political issue. That same defiant mood is spreading south to Lakeland, Florida, where a proposed hyperscale project called Project Swan has pushed the city toward a 1-year moratorium on any data center or industrial facility demanding 50 megawatts or more. On Monday, residents and the developer faced off in front of city commissioners. Christy Poma, who lives near the site and manages a heart and lung condition, said she fears breathing emissions from the facility's diesel backup generators. Ryan Company's Tyler Lohmiller countered that the 600,000 square foot facility would be a cloud data center, not AI, and would use water only for ordinary building needs. But Mayor Sarah Roberts McCarley noted the city's largest power user today draws just 18 megawatts. Project Swan would need roughly 100. A final vote is set for August 3rd. In Texas, the fight is over money. Bell County residents packed the commissioner's court on Tuesday demanding an end to tax abatements for data centers altogether. Farmer Alton Fowler told commissioners the companies are, quote, already ahead the moment they receive breaks they otherwise would not get. Resident Joe Royer questioned why the county granted Meta's Temple facility its own abatement on top of one the city had already approved. Commissioners pushed back, noting that without zoning authority outside city limits, an abatement is one of the few tools they have to impose noise limits, water use rules, or diesel generator bans on a project. They stopped short of ending the incentives, but agreed the current policy needs revision, scheduling workshops through mid-August and adoption of an amended policy by September 8. Zoom out, and the resistance is no longer town by town. It is statewide. In Indiana, researchers at Indiana University's Environmental Resilience Institute have tallied the numbers. 11 counties have passed data center ordinances. At least 17 have enacted temporary moratoriums. And 2, Marshall and Cass counties, have banned new data centers outright. Add it all up, and nearly a third of the state's 92 counties have moved to restrict the industry. Halfway through the year, even the state capital is wrestling with it. Indianapolis's Metropolitan Development Commission voted 5-3 on July 1 to advance new zoning rules over residents who asked for a full pause on approvals instead. And in New Albany, a 1-year moratorium on facilities over 100,000 square feet heads to a final vote on July 16. All of that local turbulence has finally reached Washington. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has ordered all 6 of the nation's regional grid operators, PJM, MISO, the Southwest Power Pool, California's ISO New England, and the New York ISO, to justify or rewrite the rules for connecting data centers and other giant loads to the grid. The show cause orders, issued under Section 206 of the Federal Power Act, come with hard deadlines. Reports on generation adequacy are due July 20th, and full responses by August 17th. Regulators want answers on preventing cost shifting to ordinary ratepayers, accommodating co-located and behind-the-meter generation, and creating new services for flexible loads. It is the most aggressive federal intervention yet in the collision between AI and the American power grid. And the industry's answer to both the power problem and the water problem may have just gone critical, literally. In the Utah desert, nuclear startup Valar Atomics wired its Ward 250 microreactor to an NVIDIA Blackwell desktop and powered it live on stage. The first time a startup's nuclear reactor has produced usable electricity in American history. The helium-cooled reactor reached criticality on June 18. Now Valar and NVIDIA are exploring a 30-megawatt closed-loop AI factory in Orangeville that would run entirely behind the meter and drink almost no local water. NVIDIA says its new facility design cuts cooling water from roughly 2.6 million gallons per megawatt each year to near zero. Valar has raised $450 million at a $2 billion valuation to make it real. State legislators are watching all of this. And in New York, the pressure on the governor is mounting by the day. Albany's Common Council voted 12-0 Monday night to formally back the state's proposed one-year moratorium on new data centers, after demonstrators rallied outside City Hall. The bill, the Responsible Data Center Development Act, has already cleared both chambers, passing the Senate 44-16 and the Assembly 102-39. All that stands between New York and the nation's first statewide data center moratorium is Governor Kathy Hochul's signature, and she has yet to say which way she is leaning. City officials say no formal data center proposal has even been submitted in Albany. Only rumors. And that is exactly why they want statewide rules first. The capital city just told its governor loudly what it wants. Yet while governments hesitate, the money keeps moving, and it just landed hard on a small Kentucky river town. Tara Wolfe announced a 20-year lease with AI developer Anthropic at its Justified Data campus in Hawesville, a deal expected to generate roughly $19 billion in contracted revenue over the initial term. The campus will carry about 401 megawatts of critical IT load, with the first capacity entering service in the second half of 2027 and a full ramp by early 2028. In the same announcement, Tara Wolfe agreed to sell its majority stake in a separate joint venture to a FluidStack-led investor group, cashing out roughly $450 million of investment at a premium. Communities may be voting no from Virginia to Indiana, but in Hawesville, Kentucky, $19 billion just said yes. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.